Welcome to another tolerable pods. We're gonna keep that. I'm not editing that out.
Tolerable times is the word you wanted to use.
I can't. I gotta fix the name of the show because I can't say it. So this is another quickie shindig in the darkness. Reach around, touch your toes, spin me around, slap your sister. So we're gonna do a quick little dip our toes in episode of Cartoon Network, the cartoons, and pretty much how fucked up they are. How much I love them. Currently I am binging Dexter's Laboratory, and it is something's wrong. I love the 90s. Matt, you're the guest. You start off. Tell me some thoughts on 90s cartoons about the wrong, raunchy.
I love the fact that in the 90s, people were not so, they weren't PC. You know, they weren't worried about, kids hearing something, because at the end of the day, they threw them in there for the adults. The adults get them, but the kids don't. That's fine.
Like the Disney.
Yes. It's like, okay, cool. So the adults get it, they laugh, they have a little giggle at it. Yeah. And they enjoy themselves a little bit while watching their TV with their kids. Meanwhile, the kids, they watch it and they just laugh at the silly shit that happens on the show. So there you go. It's a win-win. Nowadays, though, parents are like, oh no,
I don't want to learn.
Make sure that, kids are protected. We don't want them to know what this is. We don't want to... Let me just say this right now. If you have talented enough people, they can cleverly hide things to where kids will never be able to figure it the fuck out. The funny part is, when you look back on something like SpongeBob, for example, that had been around for kids for how long? There's a shit ton of innuendos and a shit ton of adult content in that fucking thing. And yet, they still showed that fucker to kids in the early 2000s.
I love SpongeBob, but we are here to talk about Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Johnny Bravo, how he was just a womanizing man whore. And we just accepted it and loved it and wanted The Rock to be the next Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, well, he was trying to be a womanizing man whore, but he was not successful at these things.
None of us are.
Oh, well.
So what about, I was saying I'm binging Dexter's. I've been watching, they talk about, drugs. They talk about the mom banging someone. They talk about the dad coming home and expecting food or else he's going to beat his wife. It gets bad. All the, underlying things are just... It's horrendous, man. Everyone has that rival, but they pretty much say, what if I kill this guy? It's just, you gotta watch, go back, download Hulu, download Boomerang. It's worth it. Watch these episodes. They talk about so many wrong things. It's so sexual. It's so wrong. It's so raunchy. I love it. What's another show, Cartoon Network, that was just...
There was Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, shit.
You had Mojo Jojo.
Jojo.
Who was a gay supervillain.
Yeah, another... Who we missing from Powerpuff Girls? Think about it. Him.
Oh, yes. Yes.
The androgynous...
Devil.
He was great. Think of that one. All these things, this is just a quick little dive or dip your toe in. You need to go watch this stuff and then come back and be like, hey, I saw this. You're fucked up. You need help.
So yeah, you had the Powerpuff Girls, you had Johnny Bravo, you had Dexter's Laboratory, or as he would say, Laboratory. And
yes.
You also had Courage...
My laboratory, Mandark. That sounds like a disease. I
love that laugh.
That was good.
That was a great laugh. There's a whole episode where he's just going through the whole day, just walk, 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 and then choo, 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 that episode. But, I would say this, too. There was also Courage the Cowardly Dog that just outright tried to creep you out because they had all those creepy things. I love that show. That show was so much fun to watch.
It was so smart.
It was.
Because it made you think.
And it was like a horror cartoon, but it wasn't violent.
Eustace was great.
Eustace is great. Stupid dog, you made me look bad. Booga, booga, booga.
Like a straight up abuse.
I know. And then Muriel would hit him with the fucking rolling
more
pins, and with Houston's like, "Ow, what did I do?" But for whatever reason, we love that shit. We always love that. But
You're just blind to it because you're like, ha, you got hit.
yeah, and it was crazy. Like then one time they got turned into puppets. The one time with Fusili, who was a lizard guy. I don't know how they didn't like get weirded out by him at the beginning, but okay. There was the old ass news guy who kept just showing up randomly.
Return the slab.
Oh yeah, return. I remember that episode. I will say that sometimes because it's just fucking hilarious. That whole episode.
I'm
is
gonna have to
great.
start that next. Chowder. No, that's 2000.
That's way too far.
I messed up my
ahead.
bad.
That's way too far ahead.
God, I'm old.
But yeah, but that was a great show with Courage the Cowardly Dog. You of course had the shows that also spoke to you with superheroes. You had Superman, the animated series. You had Batman, the animated series, and they were really good shows. Toonami was in the afternoon at that time. It wasn't on in the early morning like it was nowadays. You know, I mean, you could literally watch, you know, Rurouni Kenshin and there'd be blood in it. You could watch Dragon Ball Z.
Eddie.
Ed and Eddie, I loved Ed and Eddie. Oh, and Cow and Chicken.
I Am Weasel.
I actually don't remember I Am Weasel all that much. I don't. I remember
Space Ghost.
I do remember Space Ghost, and I remember he was doing the talk show on Adult Swim after a little while.
I love Reboot. Remember that? I think that was one of the first like animated like that.
Yeah,
shows.
you know what? You're right. Actually, Reboot was that crazy.
Rocco.
That was Nickelodeon.
That was Nick. Why is he coming up for Cartoon Network?
I don't know why, but so's Pinky and the Brain, and that's Nickelodeon as well.
Now I'm curious. Did Rocco get stolen?
No, I don't think it did. I think it was always on Nick. Johnny Quest was Cartoon Network. Batman Beyond, which was kind of the sequel to Batman the Animated Series, because after Bruce retired, a young kid named Terry took up the mantle and became the new Batman in the future. Which wasn't a bad series. Check that out too. Pup Named Scooby-Doo. Captain Planet, that was on fucking Cartoon Network.
That was a scam.
Captain Planet.
You bastards trying to make us recycle. Freakazoid, SWAT cats, Two Stupid Dogs.
Two Stupid Dogs.
Think of the shows, how great they were then.
Dragon Ball Z, which was huge.
No, we can't even touch that.
I know.
That's an episode.
I know. And then Arthur, I remember Arthur actually, for the bear kid, whatever the fuck he was.
Home Movies, which I loved. That was the last year of the 90s.
And then you had Goosebumps, which would show up from time to time. Who else was there actually? Oh,
The Mask.
The Mask cartoon show.
There were some terrible shows. We're looking. We
Men in
got it
Black,
because
yeah.
we didn't plan this. We literally said, let's do this.
They would show Looney Tunes in the early portion of the day before you went to school.
I remember, oh my god, there's so much. Droopy.
Droopy.
How old am I?
Old.
Beast Wars. I remember
Beast
that. That
Wars.
was actually one of the most popular Transformers. Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, but that was Nick.
It's coming up Cartoon Network.
Why is it coming up? It shouldn't be.
No, but I think Ed and Eddie was one of my favorites
Ed and Eddie
ever.
was fucking great.
The sisters.
Oh my god.
Ed and his dirty bed, how he'd reach under and pull out a live thing.
Eddie was fucking... There was Ed who was just a fucking idiot, and he would watch horror movies all the time. And then he had a tub of gravy in his
Oh my god, I love it!
bathroom. And then you had Double D who was smart and...
Never titties, though.
And then you never understood why the fuck he was hanging around the other two, but he was. And then you had Eddie who was constantly scamming for fucking quarters to go get a fucking jawbreaker.
I feel like I am all three combined some days.
You're Eddie, Ed, and Double D.
I got the OCD of Double D, and everything has to be neat in its place. I love the scams. I love the stupid ideas. And then I'm dumb as dirt. Like, just the things I say and do.
Because I remember actually watching it, and I binge watched it several times.
I think that's next after Dexter.
You should. That show was fucking great. I love too the kids around the fucking cul-de-sac. There was Plank and Johnny, And I love how when they would get Jawbreakers, Johnny would go in for Plank and would just put like a rubber band or something around Plank, and he would have him eating a Jawbreaker, even though Plank really wasn't eating the Jawbreaker. Although they also on Cartoon Network had him run for like president or something like that one time, which I thought was hilarious. And then you had Rolf from the foreign land, who you could never understand. Remember he used to say fishmonger every time he used to say something bad to someone. And then he used to say to the Eds, he used to call him Ed Boy, like that was his thing. And then
you're making me fall in love with these again.
You had Kevin, who was the tough guy of the whole cul-de-sac, the jock dude. You had Naz, who everyone had a crush on.
Yo, she was dirty.
Well,
she smelled like fish, I bet. I know the sisters probably smell like fish. Yeah, I've seen some
the Canker Sisters.
The Canker Sister cosplays. I'm like, I love it.
Canker Sisters. The Canker Sisters, and then there was...
all three are pregnant with 72 kids in one trailer right now, I bet.
And then what else was there? There was also... there was Sarah, who was the sister of Ed. And then there was Jimmy, her friend, who was probably gay.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, that's what most people believe.
Which is fine, but it was so awkward.
Yeah, and he had that silly weird thing around his...
thing.
Yeah. I think that was it. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. That was everybody. But that whole thing had personality to it. That thing was fucking awesome.
So, pretty much, this is a quick little dip. But you need to watch these shows. If you're a millennial, yes, I guess I'd fall on the millennial, but you know what I'm talking about with you millennials. If you talk shit on my show, say it's offensive, change the channel. Watch something else, something for you. Don't mess with what I like.
Well,
everyone's welcome to their opinion, but I don't care about your opinion.
Not only that, too, for the parents out there who freak out about what their kids are watching, be like, listen, if you taught and raised your kids properly, then they'll do fine. At the end of the day, you shouldn't be worried about what they watch. You should be more worried about what they like to do in their spare time. That's when you find things out. But if what they're watching is just some funny shit on Cartoon Network, so let it be.
I watched a lady, this kid, little boy, scratched his ass, like hand in his pants, and then touched his food, and the mom flipped out, took him to the bathroom and washed his hands.
Mm-hmm.
What does it matter if you make him wash his hands that one time? The rest of the day, you know his hands are just so deep and moist and butt juice. And then he's touching whatever, and you know what? The kid's fine. But that's a different topic. But, yes, watch Cartoon Network, watch the 90s, learn, love it. Just put on background music. I've been binging like an episode or two every night when I go home. When I go to bed, and Bridget yells at me to shut the hell up. She's trying to sleep. Because I'm 30 and I'm laying there laughing.
You should do that downstairs.
She tells me to go downstairs.
I'm not surprised. But yes, definitely check out those shows. They were the shit. And if you want to, check out the more serious ones like Superman and Batman, the animated series. They were great shows too.
They were great.
And, Toonami had good stuff going on for it as well.
That's different. That doesn't count as Cartoon Network 90s. That's a whole different monster.
Well, I mean, it was part of that.
Toonami was a movement.
Well, it was, but it was slammed into Cartoon Network.
Taught me so many things.
That you didn't.
Like, if you scream like this for 12 days, you'll make a giant ball fire appear.
And if you put your hands out like this and hold it forever, that eventually you will have everybody's spirit and energy, and you'll be able to blow up.
You know, someone's probably rubbing one out when that happens, and he's just like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh, all right, man. So, where can they find you?
You can find me on here. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, Tolerable Times. I really got to work on that. Guys, if you've got a suggestion for a better name, tell me, please, God.
And if you do, you win something from Andre. Something you don't want.
I will send you something stupid.
You won't want it, trust me. You'll send it right the fuck back.
No, it'll be something I made at work.
Oh, okay. Then maybe
it'll be something good. If someone gives me a good name, I got something for you worthwhile.
All right, then. So then there you go. If you want something nice from Andre, who actually can build some pretty good shit, he made a dick fork over there. You can totally get something like that sent to you if you are
not a dick fork.
If you're able to get a good name for the show. And for me, you can catch me on Thursdays on A2DRadio.com. Lazy booking for wrestling. Hockey Happy Hour for, of course, hockey.
Why'd you gotta push the dick fork?
Because you keep bringing it up, so I figured I might as
Okay.
well. But it won't be a dick fork. It won't be.
It'll be dick fork.
Anyway, that's where you can find me and on Facebook. So, there you go.
Thank you guys. Whatever. I don't really care.
Thank you guys.
No
Take it
problem
easy,
now.
everyone.